Good morning, everybody. I'm Nikki Stanzione.
And I'm Kristen Van Dyke.
And this is New Mexico Style. And I have to say, we woke up to really sad news this morning out of Hollywood. I was so upset to hear this. Legendary chick flick screenwriter Nora Ephron is dead at age only 71 after a battle with leukemia. And you may remember that Ephron is the one who penned screenplays for movies like Sleepless in Seattle, one of my favorites of all time, When Harry Met Sally. And she was gravely ill all up until her death, but apparently she really did her best to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, Ephron scored 3 Academy Award nominations during her illustrious Hollywood career and was widely considered one of the most powerful women in the entertainment industry. Her other most memorable films include Silkwood, My Blue Heaven, Michael, You've Got Mail, and Julie and Julia.
So many good movies from her. We'll get more details from TMZ hopefully in just a few minutes also, but I don't know. I mean, when I say When Harry Met Sally, that movie, the lines from that movie, the characters, I mean, I always order everything on the side, and I always used to say, oh, I'm Sally Albright, I guess, because I order everything on the side, and you know, there's just the little quirky things of the characters she used to write that were so special. Do you have a favorite Nora Ephron movie?
I haven't seen When Harry Met Sally, which is probably a total sin. I'm kind of scared to tell you that. Okay, but
she's in big trouble.
I like You've Got Mail.
I'll buy it for you.
You've Got Mail.
You've Got Mail's adorable too.
I like that one. I thought that was cute.
That was a good. Sleepless in Seattle.
It's Sleepless in Seattle. I haven't seen that one either.
Oh, we're doing a marathon for Kristen.
Okay,
big time.
yeah,
the best line ever in a movie to me was this line right here from When Harry Met Sally. You know, they were friends all throughout the movie, really close. They had a really special bond. They dated other people. They went through their life, and in the end, they realized they really just loved each other. And so it was New Year's Eve, and Harry says to Sally, when you know what you want to do for the rest of your life, you want the rest of your life to start right now. And that was just like the moment I was crying. And every time I see it, it doesn't matter, I see that movie a million times. Every time I hear him say that line, I bawl like a baby. Cry my eyes out.
Oh, it's a sweet line, though.
It is. But isn't it the truth?
And you hear so many references to that. I mean, it is definitely, I need to see it, obviously.
You do.
But it's definitely very popular, and people are always quoting stuff from it.
Absolutely. Well, certainly a huge loss for the world and for the Hollywood community especially. So we send prayers and thoughts to all of her friends and family. And, you know, we wish the best. And, of course, the good thing is that when you're a writer or a screenwriter, you know, and you do all these things, your work and your creativity lives on.
It keeps going.
You know, so that's the legend that she leaves behind, and we'll always remember that. In the meantime, let's check in with KRQE News 13 anchor Elizabeth Alvarez, who has this morning's headlines.
Hey, good morning, ladies. Kristen,
right?
What's the matter with you?
I know, I'm going to get with the purpose.
Oh, my goodness.
How good is When Harry Met Sally, Elizabeth?
No, I know. That is like my favorite movie, I think, out of all of the movies that she did.
Yeah.
For sure. But we'll get together, ladies, including me, because I'd love to see that movie
Let's
again.
do it.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let's get to your morning news. Topping your morning news headlines this morning, a major move is now underway to help fires in northern New Mexico. It was the one-year anniversary yesterday of the Los Conchas fire that burned through 150,000 acres from Jemez. It came dangerously close to the Los Alamos National Lab. Yesterday, officials from 3 federal agencies broke ground on a permanent fire station that will be built on lab property. The $3 million facility will be used to help coordinate responses to wildfires.
You got to have agency cooperation, and a lot of times it is getting your collection agreement specialist over here, talking to the collection agreement specialist over there, so you get the wording right, so you can get the money.
The center will include space for fire training and storing firefighting equipment. Big changes for the Bosque are coming later this week. It's going to close all around us, but for the most part will stay open in the Albuquerque area. However, it could change at any moment. Yesterday, Sandoval, Valencia, and Socorro counties decided to close the Bosque in their areas starting on Friday, hoping to prevent wildfires there. But Albuquerque and Bernalillo County leaders decided it's safer to actually keep part of it open here. As of Friday, the paved and well-marked dirt trails will stay open, but the other parts of the Bosque will be off limits. The village of Ruidoso may not have been ruined by the Little Bear fire, but it is certainly feeling the heat. Village officials say tourism is way down because of the destructive fire. The Little Bear fire burned 44,000 acres and wiped out 242 homes. One cabin owner told the Albuquerque Journal that he's lost 40 nights of reservations because of safety concerns. The tourism office is now putting up billboards in Albuquerque and down in El Paso, Texas, showing the blue skies over the village, letting potential visitors know that they are indeed open for business. The Metro Detention Center has a new officer on the force, its very first canine. And we were there to see Haas here in action as the guards at the main jail were looking for drugs, weapons, and anything else an inmate should not have. The 18-month-old German Shepherd is MDC's first dog, and apparently nothing gets by his sense of smell.
Using a dog like this is a big deterrent. Also gives us just that capability the dog has that we don't have, giving us that nose of maybe an area we didn't hit or we didn't recognize, and the dog is able to pick up on it. Plus, it's just the intimidation factor of having a dog and what a canine possesses.
Oh yeah, I would be intimidated for sure. Guards say that Haas found drugs, a crack pipe, and some weapons. MDC hopes to actually get a second dog by September. Lastly, a lot of faculty and students had complained that the recently retired UNM president didn't listen too much to them. But now it looks like the new president is moving quickly to avoid that type of criticism. Bob Frank just took over in the beginning of the month. He's a lifetime Lobo, has 3 degrees from the school, and was a UNM athlete. Well, President Frank there, set up this anonymous 10-question survey for basically anyone who has anything to do with UNM. It asks about how to make the school, the university, better. Now, we have set up a link to that survey if you want to take it. Just head over to KRQE.com. And that wraps it up for your Wednesday morning headlines. Be sure to catch Matt Morrow, Kristen Van Dyke, and me every weekday morning on KRQE News 13 beginning at 4:30 a.m. Nikki, Kristen, I'm going to send it back to you.
Thanks, Elizabeth. I just briefed Kristen on the premise of When Harry Met Sally, so we will catch up on that for sure.
Yeah, that's good.
Have a good day, Elizabeth.
Thanks.
You. All right, so we got our news, but now it is time for the Hollywood Buzz.
That's right, TMZ correspondent Gary Trock is going to join us with the latest in Hollywood.
Yay! Hi, Gary.
Hey, good morning.
We always look forward to talking to you. Unfortunately, the first story we have to talk about is something that saddens everybody. We talked a little earlier about the death of legendary screenwriter Nora Ephron, who was battling leukemia. So we want to ask you, does TMZ have any more details about Hollywood's latest loss?
No, I mean, we basically know as much as everybody else. It's extremely sad, a huge loss. Everybody's very sad about it. What was interesting yesterday, though, is there was a little bit of like buzz before she passed away because there was an obituary that was posted hours actually before she died, preemptively, because people were actually being notified that she was so ill that she probably wouldn't make it through the day. So, there was an obituary that went up and it was taken down, but the internet buzz started going around saying, oh, Nora Ephron may pass away any moment, and turns out she did. But it's obviously it's extremely sad. And 71 years old, huge Hollywood legend. So
yeah, too young. But I was saying to Kristen before, I mean, her work will live on forever. I mean, to this day, I can watch any one of her films that she penned and be equally excited to watch it today as I was the first time I saw them. So, we're sad.
You've Got Mail is my tearjerker every
That's
time.
what I said. That's Kristen. Mine is When Harry Met Sally.
Sleepless in Seattle too.
Oh yeah. Sleepless in Seattle's a goodie too. They're all goodies.
They're all good.
It's sad news.
Yeah.
Well, on to more news about the news. We hear that Ann Curry, of course, is getting the boot from the Today Show, but TMZ is reporting that she's not going quietly, and it's going to cost NBC big money.
Yeah.
And will her replacement be named soon? Fill us in.
Yes, Ann Curry. So she's going to cost them a lot of money. Basically, her contract was for $10 million a year for 3 years, and she's only a year into the contract.
Wow.
So she is looking at $20 million from NBC, but they don't want to pay her. They basically want to give her $10 million and make her a foreign correspondent. Of course, she wants the rest of her contract. So that's what's basically hindering on even naming a new successor, because they don't really want to name anybody yet until they get this contract locked away with Ann Curry. But they hope to replace her before the Olympics because they want to, get the new person in there and get them coverage and everything like that.
What are some of the names you're hearing thrown out there? I mean, I heard a couple here and there. I heard Regis at one point maybe replacing Hoda, and then Hoda taking over for Ann. Is that a possibility?
No, I don't think so. You know what? I forget her first name, but Suthri is the one that they're looking at. For the name honestly escapes me right now, but there is one lady. I forget her first name.
I think it's Savannah, Garrett.
They are looking at it. Savannah Guthrie. There we go.
Yeah.
So they are looking at her. So she is the front runner right now. So that's what it looks like it may be. But it's tough to tell because NBC, you know, they play their cards close to the chest, and they really don't want to name anybody until you know, Anne is officially gone.
Right. Well, we know that Matt's making 25 mil. I mean, is Matt so worth it that it's worth all of this turmoil that it's causing?
He brings in, I mean, he brings in the audience. People love his interviews, and he is worth it. I mean, he can keep it and hold an audience, and people go back just for Matt. So I think that he is worth it. Personally, I don't think Ann Curry was worth the money they were paying her, but I think she's going to be lucky to get away with what she is.
No doubt. I mean, I think she did a good job, but you know, you're right. Recently, I haven't been feeling that same energy from her. I don't feel like she's got the same passion for it that she had a while back when she was just doing the news itself. So we'll see what happens. But that's a lot of money. So in the meantime, TMZ is also reporting that the federal government is recommending that the man who hacked nude photos of Scarlett Johansson should be forced to pay the actress for her troubles. And we hear he may be sentenced to jail time. So he's got some other victims. What about them? Mila Kunis, Christina Aguilera, Renee Olstead. What are you thinking? What's happening with that?
Yeah, so Christopher Cheney, the U.S. government basically filed their suggestion for what they want to happen to this guy. They are asking for 71 months in prison and $66,000 going back to Scarlett Johansson for her troubles, $7,500 to Christina Aguilera, and $75,000 to Renee Olstead.
Oh my gosh.
So we haven't narrowed, like, they haven't made a comment on why they chose these figures, but it looks like it's based upon the photos, the content of the photos, how much nudity was in the photos, and they assessed how much damages were lost because of that. So he's looking at pretty much a long time in prison. I don't see him getting out anytime soon. And they even compared this to the Erin Andrews case from a few years ago and said it was way worse. So they definitely want to throw the book at this guy.
I hope they do. And I was about to make a really bad joke when you said I don't know why they chose these figures, but I know you were referencing the money.
Well, yes, the figures are great as well.
Yes, they are. Well, we hope he gets what he deserves, and we hope they get their pay for their troubles as well. Gary, thanks so much. Great information as always.
Thanks. Take care.
Okay. All right, you too. And of course, you can catch TMZ weeknights at 5:30 right here on 2 Casa Fox. Always love catching up with Gary, filling us in on the latest Hollywood
buzz. Yeah, and if you're watching the show, I mean, you see Gary on the show all the time. I always watch and I'm like, oh, this Gary. We talk to him every week. Now, here's some really cool news. New Mexico is on another top 10 list, and this is a goodie. National Geographic ranked one of our hamburger joints as one of the best in the entire country, and that burger joint is Blake's Lottaburger, which came in at number 4, and I'm talking the whole country.
And of course, what makes it so special, you see it right there. Hatch green chili is mentioned as a reason Blake's cheeseburger is at the top of the list. This is the second time Lottaburger has made National Geographic's top 10 burger list, so good for them. I am hungry for a burger right now.
Right, me too. The number 1 burger, according to National Geographic, is actually the Apple Pan, which is located in Los Angeles. In-N-Out Burger came in at number 2. I lived in LA. I used to eat In-N-Out. Like, I was in and out of there a little too often.
In-N-Out burger. I haven't been the In-N-Out either.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the thing about In-N-Out that makes it good, is that it's always made on, like, they don't have them sitting in a heat lamp. I mean, you order an In-N-Out burger, they make it to order. The bread is really, it's really fresh, and you get a little bit of that crispiness, but it's never like too hard. And then it's not that greasy, and then their fries actually are made like from fresh cut vegetables with really low cholesterol oil. That's my pitch on In-N-Out. But that said, when I moved here, I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get In-N-Out anymore. But then I did try Blake's, and I was like, oh my God. And you know, now I can't even eat a burger without green chili. So I'm so happy for them. Have you eaten Blake's?
Yes, I have. It's awesome.
It is, right?
Green chili definitely makes it really special.
Yeah.
And here's a story with a happy ending. The tortured kitty, this is heartbreaking to watch. That was blinded by paint is getting the help he needs this morning.
Yeah, someone poured paint in little Tuffy's eyes and then threw him in the dumpster near Corzine Central. And police still haven't caught whoever did this to little Tuffy. But someone watching our news is offering to pay for Tuffy to see a feline eye specialist.
We would love to have him looked at by an eye specialist. That means so much to us because there's only so much a shelter can do. We have limited funds, limited ability.
the Good Samaritan wants to remain anonymous. The little guy should be up for adoption in about 2 weeks. Gosh, it's so hard for me to watch that, but I'm so glad that he is going to get some help. And the eye specialist, that'll make a big difference.
Yeah, I love happy endings like that. And yesterday, we also told you about something interesting. A Tacoma, Washington elementary school that bans sunscreen, which left a mother all fired up when her 2 young daughters came home from that field trip and they were severely sunburned.
Right. Turns out the sunscreen ban is a statewide policy that does not allow staff to apply sunscreen to students, and students can only apply it to themselves if they have a doctor's note. The law exists because the additives in the lotions and the sunscreens can cause an allergic reaction in children, and sunscreens are regulated by the FDA as an over-the-counter drug. You can see those burns.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, this same policy actually exists in 49 states, including New Mexico. And what we did was we contacted Albuquerque Public Schools to find out what the policy is, and what we were told is that students or their parents or legal guardians can apply sunscreen at home, or they can bring it to use on school grounds. But school personnel may not apply the sunscreen to students. So that's really what it comes down to. It's not that you can't wear the sunscreen, but your parents or your legal guardian are the ones that have to apply it.
Right, and so it's good information for parents. EPS said school personnel struggle daily to, they really do struggle to balance the common sense with rules and regulations to protect the children. And this, of course, means not administering over-the-counter drugs, which sunscreen technically is, according to the FDA. I mean, there are a lot of those little rules that are like tough to to get around. It make things kind of like, this doesn't make any sense at all. But
it's like if it's a field trip or recess and that sun is burning down and you see a child starting to burn, it's just a natural instinct. You want to put some sunscreen on them, but you just can't do it. And certainly today is going to be another day they're going to want to be doing that.
It's going to be a very hot, sunny day.